Harvest! Population 51. It's the small town Americas. Hello! We're playing Harvesters, if you didn't know from the title, which is a game about harvesting, but not the famous one with the moons. Who's joining me here today?
Hi, it's Kaida.
Yes, it's Kaida. This is, I should say, post-recording now. For those of you that don't know, Harvester is a FMV game, which means live action and almost, I think, by law, required to be terrible live action. But, yes, this game is something of a cult following, with its spookiness and famous amounts of gore, as we Silent Hill our way down this pit.
Right into an autopsy.
Just a taste of some of your future vision presents an M. Lee Jacobson production. A Gilbert Austin game. Harvester. Then there's a bunch of other credits that I wasn't aware if there'd be anything after, so I kind of just kept that going for a minute. But instead of looking at those boring things, I have a list of facts about this game.
Okay.
For those of you not in the know, I'm hoping this will intrigue you long enough to keep watching. Music Zork Productions! I did like that credit. Yes, this is called the, one of the goriest, stupidest, and most confusing horror games ever made, resulting in it being heavily censored in most of Europe and flat-out banned in Germany and Australia. This was made in '96, by the way. I've skipped ahead here. This is an older game, obviously. It's available on Steam. Tips, some of which I don't think are, exactly
The night will be a time of mischievous adventure.
Yes! Some of them aren't exactly, helpful tips. Like, use I to get your inventory. That's fair. But, yeah, penny saved is hardly worth the effort. Oh, is that your gameplay tip? Thank you. My personal favorite. I think it's the next one. Yeah, avoid cliches like the plague. Ammunition is precious, so don't waste it. If you get stuck on a puzzle, try using items in crazy illogical ways. Save your game often, especially before trying something crazy. Holding down control button lets you attack your opponent. That's our hero, and I'm saving early as the game suggested. That's the I don't know what that's supposed to be. A man screaming in pain?
Classy.
Thank you. Oh, that's actually the classiest thing in this game, probably. Yes, here's our champ, who I believe was instructed to walk with as straight a back as possible. You'll forgive me here, I'm figuring out the controls as I go. I'm also 100% playing this off of a walkthrough, so get that out of the way. I'm not solving these on my own. This is an old-style adventure game. We need the pen and the 25-cent piece. So, this game was originally brought to us by Digifex, which, it's fun to know they've gone completely out of business by this point. Now making, they sold the name to somebody that makes computer security software. And that's me discovering I can punch things in the wimpiest possible way.
With the weirdest freaking sound effects.
Whoosh! That's not the sound your fist makes as you swing at cockroaches?
Or I'll tell Mom on
Ow.
you.
Am I a cockroach, then?
Steve.
You are my example dummy.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
Only I don't want to be, because I'm trying to watch my
When's
cowboy
this supposed
show.
to take place?
I'm sorry.
1950s.
Look,
Okay. That
And
checks out.
I still think that TV's a little bit long for a 1950s
Cut it
TV.
out.
I'm telling you.
That little thing down there.
You always were a kidder, Steve. Leave me alone. I'm sick.
Have you
Fun
noticed that
fact,
your show is
the,
in black and white?
Actor
What
playing
else?
our hero,
Color?
Steve,
On a
that's his
TV?
name, it's not his voice.
I
It's
think
a different
it's in a
voice for
colored
this
television
actor.
before.
Everyone else in the
I'm
game is the
not.
same
Quit it, I'm
faced
gonna tell.
actor. They
Hey,
gave
look at
this
that.
guy a different voice for some
Your
reason.
mother lets you watch this stuff?
Sure. This is part of history. What made America great. And besides, blood and guts are needed.
Well, who can argue with that?
I'm glad you're catching on, Steve. You're not too bad. for a lousy rat.
The time when we celebrated America's
What's wrong with you?
racism.
I got a headache and a
Oh,
stomachache.
murderous
Why aren't you in
racism,
bed?
please.
'Cause I
There's a
wanna
difference.
watch my
Well,
cowboy
actually,
show.
not
They
really.
look all right to me.
About to say there's a difference, and it's
I'm
like,
not
nah, wait,
thinking
people are still
about
hitting each other with
I'm
cars.
Daddy's sick in
Because,
bed, too.
yay.
And Mom believes me anyway.
But that's not what we're here for. We're here for regular, good old-fashioned, excessive
Dad is
white-on-white
Me and
violence.
Mom went
No
at it
racist.
last
Well,
night
actually,
pretty hard.
there is
He
one,
stayed
I
in
think,
bed.
non-white person in
I
this
saw
game,
what
and he
she did
can't
to
speak
me.
English.
It was
So,
pretty
good.
bad.
What did
all
she
I've found so far.
Like you don't know. I saw you and her on the couch last
So yes, we're
Wednesday night.
jabbering all over the
Guess
plot
that's
here,
why
but
she's grounded now.
to give you the
Huh.
brief summary of
Too
what's
bad you
going
didn't
on,
pay me, and I had to tell. Huh.
we woke
What are
up
you
with
talking about?
amnesia,
What girl?
and he's informing
What?
us
Is there
that
another one, too?
not only is he our
Wait
little
till I
brother,
tell.
but we've got a special lady friend
I
in
don't know
town.
what girl you're talking about.
All summer, it's been Stephanie this and Stephanie that. And now you don't remember? You
Yes.
think I'm dumb or something?
No, I just can't
I
remember.
think everyone in
anything,
this
like I
game is
said.
dumb.
Well, you better remember quick, because the wedding's in 2 weeks.
What?
The
Move
face.
along so I can
That's
watch
1996 capability. It looks so real, doesn't it?
Good.
They look almost like real people. And that's your mom, with your horrible excuse for a baby, once again in the bottom left. I also don't know who wrote the little boxes up there, but they get pretty snarky later on. Such as Fireman Sparky's super foamy fire extinguisher. Oh yeah, it's worth mentioning, when we
Well,
get to the
hello
firemen,
there.
get ready
How
for the
about some
most,
cookies? There's
like,
plenty of rejects in
forced,
the trash.
Who
uncomfortable,
are you?
over-the-top
That's a
gay
fine way to
stereotypes
talk
you
to
can
your
imagine.
Mother.
You're my
And you're
mother?
still not going to be ready for
That's
the firemen.
right. Though sometimes I get treated like a hired help around here.
I don't
It's
remember.
1950s
Of
America.
course you don't.
You'll
Until you
know
need your socks
that's
washed.
what all gay
No, you don't
firemen did in
understand. I can't
1950s
remember
when we
where
see
I
it.
am or even who I am.
Land's sake, stop your joshing, won't you? Honestly, Steve, I thought you'd grow up a little after graduation. I only hope that new job will plant your feet.
I have a job in this game?
So that's my name.
Didn't know that.
Your name will be M.U.D. Mud if you don't stop teasing me, young man.
Listen, this may sound strange, but I've lost my memory.
So,
Do you
yes, as I
believe
mentioned,
me?
Well, you always
DigiFX
work
went
here,
under and
Steve.
sold their name
I'm
to a
serious.
software company.
Sure, and next you'll be telling me you
This
don't
game
remember
comes to us on
Hank and your
Steam
little
through
sister.
the good people over at Night Drive Studios, who have apparently made their entire career based on acquiring old
That kid
IPs
over
and
by the
putting them on
television?
Steam,
Your
including
little
not only
brother
this
is
one,
homesick from
but
school
some
today,
things
and I
people
won't
might have
have
heard
you
of. I
scare
Have
him
No
with
Mouth,
this
But I Must
amnesia.
Scream.
Is he
All
really
of the
sick?
Humongous Entertainment Library,
Look at the
which is the
show
Freddy
he's
Fish,
watching.
the Putt
Wouldn't
Putt,
you
the Spy
say
Fox,
he's
the
sick?
Pajama Sam,
I'd make
and
him
most
stop,
notably
but-
System
oh,
Shock
I am
2.
so busy baking cookies for the
So,
homeless
this
people
guy,
charity
and I checked on
bake
Wikipedia,
sale. It's
he's
on Friday, you know.
made like 3
I hope
games
you're
on his
still
own,
planning
but
on
he's got
going.
like 90
I don't know.
different
I
games
need to
he's acquired
think.
the rights to and is just publishing them on
Skipping out of a
Steam.
charity
So
affair.
good on you,
What's
guy
gotten
over at
into
Night
you?
Drive Studios. You made a
Damn it,
fortune
that's what I'm
doing
telling you.
acquiring crappy old
There,
titles and
use
just
that language
publishing
around
them
me.
on Steam.
You're lucky your father didn't hear you, or Stephanie for that matter. How do you think she'd feel knowing her fiance was a
Because you said damn it.
Yes.
The 50s, ladies and gentlemen.
What charity is this
Land
bake sale supposed
sakes
to
and
benefit?
MUD
It'll help
mud.
your
That's
life
what we
fund
like
for
to hear.
bums and hobos who
Oh, yes,
wander
this
into
bake sale is
parties and
also
have no family ties.
oddly important,
Kind
it
of a
seems.
specific target group, isn't it?
You have to pay attention to detail when dealing with such
As in, people keep bringing
I
the
don't
damn
know
thing
what you
up.
mean.
You will. The whole thing has been
The
organized
lodge.
by the lodge.
Tell me more about this bake sale. Why is it so important?
As I told you, many unfortunates who come to Harvest end up needing financial help.
Why is that the town's problem?
It's not a problem, so long as those folks are taken care of.
I'm sure
It's the
that's
will
not
of the
ominous in
lodge.
any sort of way. The will of the lodge.
What lodge?
The Hall of the Order
Oh,
of the
yeah,
Harvest
that's-
Moon, Steve.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
totally
the
not,
finest
you know,
place in
creepy as hell.
Harvest.
Oh, they're just a bunch of people that like Harvest
What's so
Moon on
great
the
about it?
SNES.
Uh-huh.
Hard
Yep.
to say, since hardly anyone gets
Actually, I don't think I
inside.
get to the lodge
But
in
it
this
wouldn't be
episode.
so exclusive if it wasn't just wonderful. Just like the
Or no,
new
I think I go
metal
there
dishwasher
briefly
with their
because I'm trying to
patented
figure out the
auto
map
dry
system.
process.
Did she literally say
I've never
TM?
used one, but I
Yeah,
know
that was
what's
unsettling. I meant to
Instead of
address
strolling
that. I
around
missed
the
it
house
right there,
all
but
day,
glad you
why
caught
not
that.
walk over to the lodge and apply for membership?
By the way, I want you to remember this horrible Skeksis face she has right now
That's
because
wonderful,
we
Steve.
might be
If
seeing
you
it
got into the
later.
lodge, you'd be the talk of Harvest.
there's another character that is very clearly
Don't forget
played
to put
by
the
her,
papers
but
out
is
for
pretending
Jimmy.
to not
You know
be
how
her.
he gets.
Anyways, put the paper out for Jimmy. So I'm trying to figure out how the newspapers work during this bit. I'm not just a rube. And he goes, okay.
Well, that didn't
So
work.
I figure, okay, I've got the paper. Do I go outside with it? And it won't let me. Yeah, no idea what I'm supposed to do with this paper. I eventually right-clicked and it went away. And I figured I actually dropped the paper, so now I'm trying to pick up the papers again, even though it's in my inventory.
Wonderful.
Yep. So I'm going to be wandering in and out of the house here. I think I do that 3-4 times. So I'll use this bit to explain that, yes, this game was actually originally published by Merit Software, which the only other thing they did that is worth any attention is a game on SNES called Micro Machines, you might have heard of. It's a little top-down racing game that has a bit of a cult following and got some pretty good appeal, but they haven't made anything since '96. Yes, the original writer, Gilbert Austin, did a couple of the Ultima games and then faded into obscurity. And the programmer Lee Jacobson has done literally nothing other than this game.
Hey, Steve, I'm
So
Jimmy.
not a happy
James.
story there.
Remember me?
I guess not.
Hey, how come you haven't been putting the paper out for me in the morning?
Frankly, I'm amazed
well, try to
Germany
remember,
and the
will
rest
ya?
of Europe played far
How'd you
enough into
expect
this
to
game
work
to
in
decide
Germany
they
making
needed to
honest
censor
living?
and
You don't put the paper
ban
out,
the game
I'm out of
entirely.
a job.
So what? You don't get paid for picking up papers anyway.
Then again, after this, I do
Sitting
show
in a
off one of the
building
death
burnt down.
scenes.
What the heck
so,
else am I
that'll be
supposed
fun.
to do? Listen,
Yes,
start
there's death
putting
in
that
this
paper
game.
out and never
Really?
forget
Horrible,
that shit,
horrible
okay?
death.
That's all I want. That and a pair of sneakers. Walking this route every day has worn holes in mine. Say, you got any spare sneakers?
Gee
Oh,
whiz, Sam.
Look,
What are we gonna
fine.
do?
She
There's no
also said
sneakers.
neato.
Yep. As I said, 1950s, or you said. Anyways, got the paper for him.
There now. See how easy it is? Things are so much better between us when you
He breaks my
remember the
kneecaps
paper
if I
in the
forget.
morning. And let's keep
I don't
it
know if
that
that's
way.
actually true, but it sounds like he would.
Possibly.
Bit of a murderous child. Dayglow Lima Space Disc, because Frisbee's trademarked. Bake sale flyers! Damn this bake sale.
I always love how a lot of people idealize the 1950s as the perfect American time, and it was actually the shittiest.
Well,
Unless you were like the standard white family.
here's the lodge real quick.
That's not ominous at all.
Yeah, no, but I'm not supposed to go there yet, so let's just pretend we didn't see that. Just sort of getting a feel for the map and how
There's
it
a
works.
missile base.
Yeah,
that
which,
won't come into play.
Yeah, which I go over to, and that's where the first death happens, but I have to save my game before I do that. But, that's not fair. I think probably the worst time in America was during the horrible, plagues and diseases running rampant. Back, before indoor plumbing was a thing.
Well, that was shitty everywhere.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
And
What's
plus, there's
dentistry?
times-
We've never heard of that.
And
Our
plus,
teeth are
like-
falling out of our head.
And plus, I wasn't saying, I was just comparing how idealized some people
Oh,
have
yeah,
of
no,
the
no, no.
50s
Yeah.
compared to what it actually was.
So, notice something interesting about that
Tell
individual.
me my name is...
Are his guts on the floor
Alright.
already?
No,
Section
the
21.
cursor is a talking mouth.
Keep your
It's a
distance,
little
son.
creepy, but
He's-
I wouldn't
he
want
does
to
not
blow
have
your head
legs.
That makes two of us.
So you're the
Mentions, and again, we're
amnesiac,
jabbering
huh?
all over the game, so I'll give you
Just another
the
draft dodging.
give you the
pawn, the way I
highlights.
see
He
it.
lost his torso in
But at
World War
least
II.
you're not
Of
an
course, he calls
alien.
it WW2.
You see their ships every now and then. Sometimes swell bags one.
Oh, and he's talking about aliens.
Who are you?
Colonel Buster Monroe, commander of the Harvest Nuclear Missile Installation, keeping America safe from those who would dye our flag red,
I don't get
white,
that.
and
Who would dye it pink?
These are nuclear missiles?
It's not the commies,
goddamn
they're
right
red.
they are.
No, I don't
Every
think.
one of them ready to rain
The
death
breast
on
cancer
Ruskies.
awareness
Fall like
people?
an
Is that who he's
hit the
defending
button.
America from?
Blammo.
I
The price of
guess.
vodka goes through the roof, along with the vodka.
I've met this guy in Fallout.
Well, I suppose you have, safeguards against accidents?
I love this line.
Safeguards. Don't be such a weak sister. There are no safeguards. This is the 50s.
Then you have sole control of the, missiles.
That's right. Been in charge here since WW2. when I got my lower torso shot
Yep.
off in the war. Those pennywaists in Washington wanted to stick me behind a desk. To hell with that. They owed me.
In case you can't tell, because I already said this was a death scene, I am off script from the walkthrough here.
Really?
Of
Yes.
course, they felt that after the trauma of having to crawl from Germany.
I don't even do
England,
much of anything to
trailing
trigger the
my
death scene. I just
intestines
walk
behind
too
me.
close to him.
I was too emotionally unstable to continue.
He decides
in
I'm
the
a threat.
military. That's why they gave me this nice cushy job.
I like how they
put
gave
me
him a
in
nice
charge
cushy
of the
job, but they
nuclear
couldn't spring for a
missiles.
wheelchair. Originally I was going to say goodbye, then I thought, commie bastards? Then I decided on bye.
Duck and cover.
Since this is, after all... And I did know about this death beforehand. This is basically the reason I wanted to play this game. I saw this scene. Not punching him, no. Ah yes, every time it loads the cutscenes, it has to do that. Yep, by walking too close to him, we've doomed the world.
Congratulations, you created the Fallout series.
Oh, he'll be a ghoul, and then everyone will thank me. That's our game over screen. None of that was particularly indicative of, you know, nukes, but whatever.
Whatever.
So anyway, it was back in ideal 1950s time, without, you know, actually it is a direct threat of nukes, isn't it? 41% off packing peanuts, assorted colors.
Interesting.
Yes, 41% off.
Yes?
I need some help. Mr.
Postmaster Boyle, what can I do for you today?
Ah yes, the mother mentioned I should join the
I'm
lodge.
sorry, youngster, we're
Since
out of
there's nothing else to do in
applications
this
right
town.
now.
Not that
Come
job
on,
that got mentioned.
you must
or
have one
anything.
around here somewhere.
Well, I do have the master, but you can't write on that. And I only make copies once a month, on the button, regular as clockwork. Afraid not, son. You can't get them anywhere but the post office. I'm sorry, you'll just have to come back in a month,
As indicative
same as anyone
of small
else. And even then, I
1950s
can't
towns,
guarantee you'll get an application.
the
line is
mysterious,
always
definitely
long, and
not
there are never
satanic
enough to
cult
go around.
monopolizes
It's
a lot
very
of people's
important that I
minds
get
and
in
time.
quickly.
That's what they all say. Postmaster Boyle, I'll just die if I don't get into the lodge.
Something
Can't
I
make
don't
an
know if
exception,
you
young
or
man.
our audience
Just
caught when
wouldn't
I
be
was
right.
playing the first time. The soldier guy knew we were in
Next
Amnesiac
time you
before
post,
we
don't
introduced
forget the zip
ourselves.
code.
So, I believe he referred to us as the Amnesiac.
Yeah.
So, again, with the trademark, I began to suspect that there's, you know, something going on in this town. Like, we have a role to play.
Yes.
Ah, yes, meet the one non-white guy who may actually be white. I don't remember. Nah, he's probably not white.
No. For a moment I thought you were clicking on him, it said the sheep, and I was gonna be like, well, that's a little rude.
Well, the glowing red eyes sort of startled me, as well as the alien head. Mr. Swell and Mr. Parsons. And Mr. Parsons' pitchfork that he brings into the barbershop for some reason. Yeah, it mentions Pastorelli can't speak English, so... For a man who can't speak English, he certainly got barbershop right and just lets the locals
Hello
play
there, youngster.
chess
This
in
ain't
his
them aliens I was
establishment
telling you
perfectly
about?
fine.
Well, they came back last night. Cut another crop circle in my south field.
How come I never seen none of them saucers clam?
Them aliens is wily, Pete. You don't cross the intergalactic void without
Which,
learning.
that sounds
trickery.
reasonable.
You know what Pastorelli did? Yesterday, he gets an alarm system to protect his pole. Only he don't know how to rig it, so now it's all awry.
A walkthrough at this point was having me learn about the aliens, but I had bigger things on my mind. This bake sale, damn it.
Danged if I follow you, Steve.
I like how it gets you the option to ask something else.
Pastorelli shelled out
Other
for
than
an
typing
alarm
in bake
system,
sale like a
alright,
jackass
but he
every
too
time I
cheap to
get,
hire
that
an
actually does come up
electrician to hook
useful
her
in
up.
one
Dang
point.
idiot crosswired it through the fire sprinkler, so now when the alarm goes off, it sets the sprinkler spraying. Tarnation! Aliens looking for intelligent life ought to stay away from this shop, sure enough. Well, son, the ways of the alien is a specialized area
Which-
of woodcraft. unknown to
This
all
would be a
but the
bit
wildest.
kind of racist, except he's actually
gotta
talking
remember
about
this.
extraterrestrial
Your
life
average
forms.
alien is smarter
The
than
ways
your
of the
average human.
alien.
So you gotta be extra careful building your blind if you want to bag one.
You hunt aliens.
Son, after nailing an alien, you can...
I like that quote out of context.
What? You think you can get one of those at a swap meet?
Yes, I do, actually.
Probably could.
Yeah. It's always a bit jarring when they load in
Line
those
your blind with lead.
little
to cool
movies,
their
especially when they're
senses.
only like 2 seconds
Lay real
long.
quiet and wait.
Because they have to do the
Preferably in
whole
the woods around the nuclear
multi-frame
base.
loading
They love
screen.
messing around out there.
Why not wait outside your field, Clem? Wait for 'em to come a-carving.
Oh, they do their crop doodles with zap guns, you darn fool. Don't you know nothing? Besides, ain't no place to put the blind out in the field. Now, you listen to Clem Parsons if you want to tag an unearthly being. They cross the void, wondering what lies beyond, all the time not knowing that what awaits them is buckshot.
That's like every space horror
Anytime,
movie. You go to the alien planet and then you get attacked for no reason.
Well, no reason. You are showing up unannounced. Phelps. Obviously, a professional break-in. Nothing says professional like glass broken in the street, meaning somebody shattered the window from inside the building.
Yes.
Ah, yes, this bit.
Mrs. Phelps.
Well, that makes sense. Convenience store is
Can I help you,
Phelps.
dear?
Who are you?
This is Phelps General Store, so who would that make me? Maybe you need
By the
to
way,
go back
of
and
all
do
the
a
actors
memorial
in
and
this,
have Miss
only
Willie
one of
teach you
them has an
about logic.
IMDb page.
I'm fuzzy on a lot
Only
of
one of the
things.
actors in this has an IMDb
memory's
page.
gone.
And,
Shaw, you always were a kidder,
I don't
Steve.
think we've met her
serious, I
or
need
will
some
meet
help.
her later on in this episode, but
Well, they say a sharp blow to the head
she
is
has
a
done
good
actual
thing for
TV
a
work,
loser.
so, you know, a
In
career
which case,
formed
I'd
for her.
recommend Miss Willie again. Then again, they say a good scare can jog the memory. In which case, I'd advise you to visit the Sergeant at Arms over at the
It's
lodge.
not anyone you would have heard
That
of, though. It's
man
not
gives
like
me the willies.
Christopher
Speaking of
Lloyd
willies,
in...
How's your father?
What's
Don't
the one
know.
he's in?
Haven't seen him.
Care to buy
Christopher Lloyd's
anything
in an
today?
FMV game.
I don't know.
And Christopher Walken, actually.
Just point to whatever you
I
want.
have no idea.
I'm a little
Christopher
hard of
Walken is
hearing.
like Reanimator or something.
I'm not familiar with FMV games.
It's some detective game. So, we only have a quarter, and ignoring the cans of poison on the shelf there, we can only buy the adult magazine. Because it's 25 cents.
Really?
Yep. So I'm going to use my trusty quarter.
A girly magazine? Why, Steve, I'm surprised at you. I'd expect that sort of thing from Deputy Loomis,
That's
but
a
never
hint.
from
We need to
you.
use the magazine to
He's
bribe
always
him.
coming in here oogling the girly magazines behind my counter. Darned if I'd sell him one, though. I know his wife, for heaven's sakes.
Well, will you sell me one?
I certainly will, Steve. That kind of interest is healthy for a young fellow. Steers him away from being a fireman.
Which, on principle, I don't have a issue with being a fireman, but when I see the fireman, I'm kind of with her. I prefer not to be in that crowd. But we'll get there when we get there. We need to meet our bride-to-be and her family. Their lovely home. And then I saw the picture on the wall. Classy game. I told you, Bums was about the classiest joke you're gonna get.
There he is, my future son-in-law. And how's he doing today? What brings him to the Potsdam household, huh? Huh?
Now, to be fair,
Oh, you'll have
this
to
guy
ask
looks
the
like he
missus
actually
about that.
belongs here.
Stephanie's grounded to the wedding. Can't have her changing her mind at the last minute. Not with all that meat at
That's not
stake.
creepy.
Yeah, feel like I need to question that further.
Meat is the foundation of any
then
decent
this happened.
society. Everyone needs at least 3 servings of red meat a day. And anyone who says otherwise is a commie. And once you're married to Stephanie, I'll be part of the family too. And your father will give me all the meat I want. Kind of makes up for not getting into the lodge.
He's really into meat.
Creepily so.
But, how about that bake sale?
Stop mumbling, Steve. I can't
You
understand
catch-all,
you at all.
You can't ask that person about this phrase.
Well, don't look at me. Mrs. Potsdam wants Stephanie to study hard for her finals. If it was up to me, you could go straight upstairs, but you know, the little woman, you'll have to ask her permission to see Stephanie. Sorry, Steve. The last thing I want to do is upset you and your father before the wedding. Not with the meat at stake. You will remind your dad about the meat.
Is his dad the butcher or something?
I don't know. I think we missed a line earlier, but my mother locked my father in his room.
Hello, Steve. Have
This
you
is
flossed today?
the same actress as your mom. Just, with glasses and a wig.
Honestly, you men can insult a woman without even knowing you've done it. What a horrible thing to say.
You're both standing around baking cookies. Same cut of dress. Same pearls. So bizarre.
There's nothing bizarre about baking cookies. The Harvest Charity Bake Sale is Friday, and by gosh, Mrs. Marvin Potsdam Jr. can be counted on.
Wait,
to
what?
Share.
How is she a junior?
He's a junior.
This
is
charity bake sale.
Mrs.
Marvin.
So she took the junior?
Oh, I just
Well,
like
that's how
talking
they
about
used to do it.
subjects.
You would say you are Mrs. your husband's
Get right
name.
down to
Including the
Our
junior?
charity is pretty ugly,
Interesting.
isn't it?
I didn't know that.
That way you're saying I'm the son's wife, not the
He
father's.
organized this event in conjunction with the lodge, naturally.
Suppose that makes sense.
So nowadays no one does that.
Yeah. But about that... Oh, no. About that Stephanie.
Sorry,
Which,
I didn't
I
catch
think, given it's her daughter, she might have something to say.
Yeah.
And I think better of it. Honestly,
Give my
I would have
regards
asked
to her.
further, but...
Hello, dear.
Oh, and then
She's
I get
upstairs.
permission.
Go right on up.
But I
Just
probably would
remember,
have asked further
she's
questions,
grounded
but I really
until the
just
wedding.
wanted to get out of this soundtrack.
Give my regards
The
to your
constant
parents.
TV static is not a good choice.
No.
So what do you think they're actually resting on? Because all of this is CG, but the guy was clearly, leaning back against something there. With his feet propped up on a table.
Something covered in a green screen.
Maybe. I don't know, this was back in '96 with a blue screen.
Ooh. Oh, being a sneaky perv.
Which, I refuse to believe any woman in 1950s wore that as underwear. That's just silly.
Well, maybe she's trying it on before the wedding.
Perhaps. Anyways, I felt the need to defend myself at this point. Since I thought you and the audience might think less of me.
The WalkThru.
Yep, the WalkThru. The Henry David WalkThru.
She's purty.
Purdy. Thin layer of hair coats virtually every inch of the ceramic, and the rubber duck has seen better days. Then I realized there was actually a reason the WalkThru sent me into the bathroom. I need to raid the medicine cabinet. Like a good boy. Looking for very specific things. And again, I don't know why. I'm just following the WalkThru. Like the trained monkey that I am.
1 hour cough medicine?
As in, it lasts for an hour, or it takes an hour to kick in? Because either way, that's kind of lame.
Yeah.
Also, I steal the tampons.
Why?
I don't know, but it seems like kind of a dick thing to do, you know?
Yes.
Hey, I just woke up with amnesia. I'm gonna break into my wife-to-be's house and steal her tampons.
And vitamins. And aspirin. And
Yes. You know what'll make the stealing of tampons go over better? I take all of the pain medication as well. Because the exact right thing to do when a woman's on her period is exacerbate the situation by stealing the medicine. The WalkThru also said I can use the sink in the closet if I felt like it.
closet door won't budge.
So while the sink at least did something, I kind of got steered in the wrong direction with the closet. So now that Stephanie's decent, yes, I have no idea what that is. And it caught my eye, and I'm like, what the fuck is...
Looks like an instrument case, like maybe a violin
Oh,
case.
maybe, yeah.
That's just propped up on the wall.
Yeah, I thought it like might be a statue of a dog.
Who are you?
Like sitting,
What are
it's
you
got the
doing in my
shoulder
room?
muscles.
Haven't you heard? We're getting married.
So, you're the one.
And she didn't recognize
Steve, isn't
you.
it?
Yes, she has amnesia as well.
You don't know me?
I mean, I don't know anyone. I don't remember anything. How many times do I have to say it?
Just one, Stephanie, because I can't remember a damn thing either.
Language!
Really? Oh God, I thought it was just me.
You're not alone. Can you tell me what's going on here?
Those people downstairs have locked me in my room. They say I'm grounded until the wedding.
So, fun story about the production of this game.
Mhm.
The,
The
I
wedding
wrote
is
his
only
name
3
down.
weeks away. Not much time to get to know each other, is it?
Yes, the writer, Gilbert Austin, he came in and wrote the dialogue and basically sold the idea to
It comes down to it, we just won't
DigiFX.
take the vows.
And
I don't think anything in
he
Harvest
said, you
is
know what,
that
actually, I'm going to
simple.
stick around to film this thing. That way my artistic vision is seen to the fullest.
Why?
So he did, and then he
Potsdam
fucked off,
wants to
basically
meet my
leaving
father
Lee
Potsdam.
Jacobson to program it,
parents
which
want
took
to
over
force
2
you to
years and
settle
eventually
down.
led to bankruptcy. This game was released a year
Mrs.
after they went
Potsdam
into
wants to have the
bankruptcy
wedding in the lodge.
by the guys that acquired them, which
Me?
were Merit Software.
I just want to escape.
And then again, obviously, in 2014, when
Everything in
Mr.
Harvest
I
seems
buy
to
up
revolve around this
abandonware and
damn
resell it on
lodge.
Steam guy
This
got his hands on it.
Order of the Harvest Moon.
Which, nothing against
They're
that guy, he's
responsible
putting
for
it
this
on
insane
Steam.
bake sale that's coming, and for the
Wish
Harvest
I had
Blood
thought of the
Drive
damn
too.
idea.
When people talk about the lodge, it's always in this hushed, reverent tone.
Oh yes, by the way, I have a feeling they didn't record the lip motions for this one.
Mom keeps telling me that women can't join, but she keeps pressuring me to get you to join.
Just stare out the window, we'll add it later.
Just stare at the wall.
She's not the only one who wants me
And
to
by
sign on with
window,
the
I
lodge.
mean stare like in
That's
that
probably
direction.
the worst
We'll
thing you
figure
could
it out.
do.
Oh
You
yes,
think
this
the
was
lodge is
also
some
all
kind of
filmed in a
trap?
warehouse.
I think all of Harvest is a trap.
That's true.
Which might explain why,
Maybe
you know,
joining the lodge
his
is the way
attacking
out.
is sort of meh with his
Why not
arms, and
explore the
his
town a
walking is
little?
with a completely
I
straight
can't
back
get out of
hunched
here, but if
over.
I could, that's what I'd do. Maybe you can figure out what's happening here without going anywhere near the lodge.
You're really afraid of the lodge, aren't you?
I look at that building, all lit up at night, and I get scared.
Can't think why. It's a perfectly pleasant place. We saw it for like 3 seconds.
I mean, look at the damn thing. Seem like a harmless bunch of Masons to you?
That one they actually could afford for her to turn back at the camera.
Yeah.
But anyways, about this bake sale. I really do ask
not
everyone.
making
I'm a
sense.
jackass like that.
Escape?
Harvest is a prison, Steve. Don't forget that.
And at this point, other than, you know, the missile thing, which is non-canon, at this point in this guy's life, they seemed eccentric.
You haven't been locked in
There
your
was no
room
real,
for a
other
week.
than the weird obsession with meat
back
that her
and visit
father
me
has.
soon,
Nothing was really tipping me
okay?
off that these people were, you know, murderous lunatics or anything. Although the lodge was creepy. Continues to be creepy. Looming overhead. And, like, who gets that framed? Ah, yes, that time I held a steak. And that's a bit rude. Empty shelves are a testament to the Potsdam's household collective intelligence. And then I couldn't figure out how to leave. And in my defense, it's not like there's a door I'm clicking on here. I had to, like, find the right spot in the bottom of the screen to leave, which was right there. Yeah, save often, and I had no idea if this game requires quick reaction. Is that a gunshot?
Sounded like it.
I have no idea, damn Harvest Moon, if this game required me to make quick decisions or the walkthrough would lead me into death, so I decided the Sierra game motto of save early, save often.
The abandoned house.
Abandoned by everyone except the wasps. Attic window is perfect nesting ground for wasps. The overhang is a perfect nesting ground for wasps. That old car is the perfect nesting ground for wasps.
The weeds.
Place could use a gardener.
Okay. Oh, and someone...
And I didn't mind until I saw the portrait in her kitchen. That one. A rather colorful picture of a wasp. And all the wasps in the foreground.
It's not.
I wonder why!
The abandon if someone lives there.
There is that, too.
Of harvest called me the wasp.
I wonder why, again.
A pejorative, no doubt.
So I don't think this woman understands how wasps work.
I don't understand.
The politics of honey, the Judeo-Christian rites of sacrifice, and conventional taboos against unbridled pleasure are all responsible for the prejudice against wasps.
Yeah, I don't think that makes any sense. But about this bake sale!
A
Well, that's rather rude. You know, I said that on autopilot, and then I remembered I made that joke already.
Triviality.
Like, oh, whoops. Darn you, past me. I thought she might have something to say about that, actually.
Regard the wasp. Wasps produce nothing for others, but
Their
only
dicks
for
like that.
themselves. Wasps build nests, and more wasps, nothing more. They spread into eaves and attics, not to make honey for supermarkets, but to buzz and rustle on their own paper, perpetuating their own agenda, growing stealthily, surely.
So the wasps...
The most relentless of...
So they're in on the conspiracy. It's all one big wasp bake sale themed conspiracy. That old chestnut. If I had a nickel for every time, I'd have like 3 nickels, which isn't a lot. But it's weird that that's happened like 3 times. Anyways, I made my excuses and left, because I was only supposed to learn about wasps. And then the mortuary.
That Shady Oaks mortuary.
Ah, Shady Oaks. And then, Abe Lincoln! What are you doing here?
Stephen.
Who are you?
I am
I'm
Daniel
not
Moynihan, mortician and proprietor of the Wayward Hotel.
Most people ask me why I don't remember their names.
Well, you always were a kidder, Steve. Besides, as one who deals with the dead, I try not to involve myself in the affairs of the living. Your loss of memory is of no concern to me, true or false. Ironic, considering my recent involvement
Confirmation!
in the event.
What are you talking about?
Bake sale.
My complaints were central to the scheduling of the upcoming
I knew it.
Harvest Bake Sale. I'm gratified the Order of the Harvest Moon got
Doesn't
involved.
make sense
The
yet.
proceeds will certainly
What do you
help
mean,
cover
yet?
my losses.
What part of most confusing and stupid was unclear to
This
you?
bake sale is a joint effort of the Harvest PTA and the Order of the Harvest Moon. The proceeds will be used to set up a fund for transients. In other words, bums and societal rejects without families who wander into harvest uninvited.
Then the Order is setting up shelters for the homeless?
Not shelters. Graves. You see a great number of these hobos die while passing through. Don't ask me why, it's what those people do. Use your common sense, Stephen, memory or no. If they were involved in setting up homeless shelters, then why would I be involved? And why would I be sustaining losses?
So at this point, parts of my brain were actually a little intrigued. Because mysterious lodge,
As
missile
always,
silo,
the Order of
hobos
the
dying
Harvest Moon
randomly,
has taken the lead in
amnesia.
addressing our
There's
societal
some
ills.
hooks here that I'm getting
Through their
interested in.
sponsorship of the blood drive and the bake sale.
And also
the lodge
this room.
ensures that all our needs are met.
Needs. Such as...
Pardon me, there are corpses to prepare. And my losses have been
Like what
substantial
losses?
of late.
Does that
If
mean
you're
people
sincerely
don't
interested
die?
in the order,
No,
however,
it means that he has
you
to,
should
like,
stop
bury
by the
these
lodge and
people and
speak
it
with the
costs him
sergeant at
money.
arms.
Ah.
Why should I be interested, Mr. Moynihan?
Of all the spots in Harvest, the lodge is the most prominent, literally and figuratively.
So, I couldn't really pin
It
this
is the
guy
ambition of
down.
everyone here to join.
I figure he's either
And
the
join
most
you
evil in
must
the
to
game,
attain
or the
wisdom.
only not evil
What kind
person
of
in the
wisdom?
game.
If I knew, I'd be a member. I have the feeling you have what it takes to join the Order, Stephen. We all believe that. Whether or not you live up to your potential is
That up to your potential feels like he added that.
I'd say it's been a pleasure, but I find the company of the living so wearisome.
Okay.
Yep, enough of that room. Anyways, the walkthrough mentioned I needed a ledger, so rather than grabbing the ledger that was very clearly on the left side of the screen there, I looked around a bit more for it like an idiot.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew?
Pew, pew, pew.
Ah, because it's pews, I see.
Yes.
I thought you were, like, for the whip sounds in the background.
No.
It's like, that's not a laser gun fight, you realize. It's
I know.
a whip. A whip. And I have no idea what the hell the walkthrough was having me do in this cemetery, other than that admittedly ominous view of the lodge back there, but, yes, I'm supposed to be finding a, tomb, or mausoleum. Boxcar Willie! May your fantasies be forever gory. Yeah, some of the gravestones threw me. Like, some were just unmarked. I thought that joke was rather macabre, actually. Another resting place among the graves. It's like, Steve, it's just a bench. Come now.
They've been sealed shut.
But yes, the Potsdams are apparently important enough to have a mausoleum, but can't
not
get into the lodge.
Yes.
Ah, yes, that mentioned that the tree was unsuitable for hanging both ornaments and bodies up from. And so again, maybe it's just graveyards, but Steve's become rather morbid as of late. And that lodge, to be fair, is a very impressive building.
Yes.
Even puts the missile silo to shame, if you can call that a silo. They're just out in the open like that.
Yep.
No safeties on the button, because it's the 50s. Don't go to the... Is it the fire? Yeah, fire station's next. So...
Ooh.
This is...
Oh, you know what I bet that pink he was referring...
Please excuse the mess.
He's probably referring to the fireplace
It does
people.
wonders with the upstairs bedroom, but this garage defies color.
What would make you say that?
I know, the pink fire truck.
Sorry, Steve. After I'm through here, Sorry, Steve. After I'm through here, I've got cleaning to do.
So,
rush, rush.
If that weren't... Like, that I can accept. It's like, alright, whatever. It's the era. Then this happened. And I wasn't really ready for this.
Don't bother me, I'm sketching. Oh, look what you made me do!
Hello, Steve. Welcome to the House of Flame, as we like to call it. Oh, cut
Are
it
you
out,
picking up on the
honestly.
subtlety that these might
The
be
one who gets barking
homosexuals?
a good piece of meat is the only way to shut him up.
Why does he have his axe with him?
There you go,
Just
Spot.
noticed that. He threw the meat, he had like an axe with him.
Yeah, that's weird. Yes,
Necessary!
very.
That's my vote for the most useless cutscene in the game.
Just to see the dog licking his lips.
So, Steve, bet you don't remember me. Heard about that short and the old wiring. I'm Fire Marshal Sparky, head of your fire department.
Yeah, so at this point I was just still in shock.
Please, it's not the subject, it's the process.
Yep. I will say,
don't be such a party.
His artwork is on par with mine when it comes to drawing Pokemon. Which is to say, awful.
Besides, we haven't had a fire in Harvest since the newspaper building burned down. Though I'll admit that the Wasp Woman's place is one big accident waiting to happen. Isn't that right, Spots?
Bork.
Pretty much. Cut! Print! Beautiful! Necessary! To be fair, they never knew that someone would be playing this in 2018.
A dreadful affair. You wouldn't think that a brick and steel building with a sprinkler system could go up that quickly. Oh, please. Duane was glad enough to see the thing go up, and so was McKnight. If you could get into that safe in his wall... Forget it. Look,
so, amidst all of the,
as I know, the fire was an
shocking amounts of homosexuality just oozing from this place, that was actually useful information.
Now don't you go moving.
Yes, I'm
that
sure
wasn't
that's
even a video
still
clip.
An image.
Yeah. At this point, I didn't really want to talk to him anymore.
I don't converse on the job, Steve.
And I was surprised that guy got a little portrait in the corner. So I'm thinking that was one of the developers. Which is an odd place to insert yourself in the game, but if you're gonna insert yourself anywhere, make it a small role. This is the burned down newspaper building, which, keep in mind, he said, as far as I know, the fire was an accident. That's important because later we get some conflicting information. Also, brick and steel building with sprinkler system. And then we find the casemaker. How far does this bake sale conspiracy go, Sam?
All the way to the top.
Probably! I'm very... Like, I was just being a dick before. I knew the flyer was there, but still... This is a shockingly more in-depth bake sale plot than I thought there would be in this game. About a cult. And nukes. I don't know if that's a joke or not. He's writing a bug report. And it is a bug he's writing a report for. But it's a PC game, so...
Hello, Steve. Let me introduce myself. I'm Sheriff Duane. And
I missed that his name was Duane.
Pleasure, I reckon.
Then, we haven't met before?
Of course we have. But I heard about your alleged amnesia, and figured I'd play along. I sure hope this is just a prank, and not the start of some insanity plea. Keep your nose clean, or you'll wind up in jail, and that's no place to hold a wedding.
At first I thought it was weird that everyone knew I had amnesia and knew about my wedding,
deputy.
but it is a town
Without
of 51
him, I'd have a hard
so
time keeping the
word
peace,
probably travels
or
quick.
at least taking a lunch break. Mainly Loomis answers the phone and babysits the office while I'm out, though sometimes he likes to go in the back and stain the jail mattress. Isn't that right, Loomis?
Oh, now, Sheriff, what you gotta go and
I'm
say
sure nothing
that
will come
for?
of that stray comment.
Loomis has more than his share of problems. I wouldn't invite him to the wedding. Or, if you do, make sure he doesn't catch the garter. That could be embarrassing.
Oh, I wouldn't do nothing, Duane. But I sure would like a little garter than been around.
And then it occurred to me that that fireman scene wasn't the creepiest thing in this game.
Special.
It was Loomis there.
Crime-wise, nothing much has happened in Harvest since the newspaper fire. Oh, sure. Every week or so, we get the odd transient.
But, you know, other than that,
it gets
other than the
slow
mysterious murders that apparently Death Note has involved himself with.
Say what?
I think I asked about the bake sale.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I'm a jerk.
Stop on by any time, Steve.
Anything I can
I hope
help
not.
you with? Help yourself. Speaking of which, you're real lucky to be marrying Stephanie. She don't look like a good woman. I just hope she don't turn out like Mrs. Loomis, or mercy forbid Mrs. Phelps. Good women can be awful hard on a man's needs, don't you
And then
know?
I saw a man's needs was an option, and then decided to click it. Which I'm probably going to hell for, so.
Why, you sure ought to appreciate what a man's got to do sometimes in a parked car, or a waist-high knothole in a tree, or jail cell at noon. Matter of fact, Mrs. Phelps got no reason not to sell you some of them.
So I'd like to think the acting process here was, no, creepier. I need you to be as creepy and old as you can.
Bring them round when the sheriff's at lunch, and I'd be obliged.
Like, I've seen Silent Hill monsters that are less creepy than this guy.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, actually got it to
You
work.
remember? The Sentinel building burned
Ask him
down
about the
about
fire.
6 months ago.
That's what I'm telling you, Sheriff. I don't remember
Why do
anything.
some of them have country
Why
accents
won't you
and some of
believe
them
I have
don't?
amnesia?
Well, you've
Does it
always
say where
been
we
a
are?
kidder, Steve. Anyway,
Just
the
at harvest.
fireman said the fire
Yeah.
was caused by arson.
Yeah, it didn't say the state.
I never caught the
I don't know
perp,
why I'm
though.
thinking
But
Colorado.
we found the gas can that was used.
I don't know why I'm thinking
yes,
Colorado.
Sirree, Bob. It's in the evidence
Oh, yeah.
room.
They found the gas can
That's
that was used to start the fire.
Darn it.
How many
So even though the
times
fireman
you
said for
gonna
all I know
have
it was
to
an
tell me to
accident,
keep
there's
my
pretty
mouth
clear evidence
shut,
it was
I
an arson.
wonder? Sorry, boss.
You've got the gas can in the evidence room? Did you dust it for prints?
Serve and protect, ladies and gentlemen.
You've been watching too much TV, Steve. Heck, who can make out all those curvy lines anyhow? No, it's sitting in there gathering dust, clean as the day we found it. Just in case I ever need a spare gas can. That case is
And I don't
closed,
think
Steve.
our sheriff here understands what closed means.
Stop on by
but,
any time, Steve.
Unless you're completely, checked out at this point, you've probably figured out that at some point we're going to need to dust the gas can for prints. And it's Edna Steiner, or DNAs, if you will.
$24.07, like any good diner should be.
And then, you see the seats here?
Where's
There's
the
no
table?
yeah. And I thought
Why,
maybe
what's
it was just
wrong?
like the angle, but no,
Karen?
you leave
What
that
are you
way.
doing?
There's just benches with no
Playing.
tables.
My mom is working, so I gotta stay out of her hair. Wanna play?
Not now.
Did he
maybe
just
later.
get a country
Okay.
accent?
Bye-bye.
Keep in mind, the voice actor is different than this guy, so he might have recorded his lines and they're like, actually, let's not do that. Re-recorded it and might have left some in, who knows.
Just steal somebody's screwdriver.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve, what are you doing sneaking up on me like that? God, for a second I thought you were Mr. Johnson.
Mr.
What
Johnson,
would
her
you like,
husband?
I don't know.
Sure. And my name's Edna Fitzpatrick. I'm not the one with amnesia.
Then you believe me.
Well, you always were
People
a kidder,
keep saying
Steve.
that.
I guess I've changed. I'm not kidding.
You always were a kidder.
Now, Steve, faking amnesia won't help anything. If you don't want to marry Stephanie, then don't. But don't play
Yes,
sick,
no.
for heaven's sake. I'd expect that from Karen, not an 18-year-old.
Now then, about this bake sale.
Sorry, I missed that. It's too noisy in here.
I'll solve that bake sale one day.
Stop by
Probably.
The
and
mystery haunts me. Yeah, and this
Hello
guy
there,
got here
Steve.
before me, so.
Here for lunch?
Magic.
No, just
The old-timey
here looking around.
1950s
Well,
sheriff
I'm not entirely
magic.
sure where here is.
Lets him teleport to
Oh, I
diners, but
forgot.
not solve
You're
crimes.
playing your little amnesia prank. Well, boy, this is DNA's diner. Isn't that right, Edna?
Don't listen to Sheriff Duane. This is Edna Steiner.
But yeah, no,
But ever since the E burned out on the sign, they've been...
Well, it's
giving me
very
a hard
clear that
time.
everything here is
Now,
created
don't
in
be
a
like that,
early
Edna.
90s 3D
It's a great
engine.
place
It
to
is
eat, which is good.
an accurate representation of
Since
a
it's the
diner.
only place to eat in
Yeah,
Harvest.
including the holes in the seats.
Oh yeah, that's
Stop on by any
attention
time.
to detail, really. Seeing if I could examine the chairs or acknowledge a table or something.
Steel motorcycle.
So Steve seems to know a lot about cars and such. Like, for a man with amnesia, that was a pretty specific bit for the motorcycle there.
Yeah.
I think we see a car engine later that he also, like, instantly identifies, so...
Here's our mechanic.
Background storytelling.
Or one of the rioters was really into cars
Yeah,
and
it's
wanted to
probably
show
more it.
off.
Oh, by George. Oh, by Jiminy. Oh, here's
No, the real thing is in France, modeling.
Yes, it's not the real thing. It's clearly a picture of the real thing.
Oh, thank you, Steve. Excuse me, kiddo. I gotta go check the jail for clean towels.
Oh God, why?
You don't see anything here. He's just flipping through the magazine as he walks across the fake room and shuts the door behind him. And I realize that is a limitation of having everything be fake. They can't interact with any of the stuff.
In the meantime, Snoop.
Yep, steal the checkbook. That surely won't end poorly for whoever we're taking it from. And the key to the evidence room. And perhaps a certain amount of evidence in this arson case. Sheriff, if you think I'm going to keep paying this something, you something.
Are crazy.
There are limits. Boyle.
If you're gonna keep paying this forever, I think it said.
Yes. So, Boyle's being blackmailed. That's what we learned.
Or has protection fees. Maybe to run a business, you have to pay your fees to the lodge, and if you don't, they set your
But this isn't
building
the
on
lodge.
fire.
This is the sheriff.
You think the lodge isn't in control of the sheriff?
Well, not surprisingly, Loomis has tainted the evidence. Classy game. Thank you.
Santa hat.
Jolly fat man murder spree.
With holes and crimson smears. An empty gas can.
That would be the gas can. I also needed in this room a camera and sneakers.
He did not like green eggs and ham, so they killed him.
And I think that was a hat. Fuzzy Bear wielding a chainsaw. A well-built 1/48 scale B-17 model. A VW engine all rusted at the core. You see what I mean? He seems to know engines.
The tidy bowl man.
The tidy bowl man.
Breaks into your house and cleaned your bathroom.
That bastard. Insta-shot camera.
The point and click kind.
That was probably a hot commodity in the 50s.
Probably.
Bathroom kit's missing a razor. I'm desperately looking for shoes. Turns out they're above the Santa hat, but below the Abe Lincoln hat.
I think because
Bloody
the guy
sneakers.
in the green eggs and ham was wearing a hat.
Oh, yeah.
So they
That's
killed
an
him.
odd reference.
Yeah. But I mean, this was made in the 90s. I think I was going to say it's Seuss's most popular era.
Hello, Steve.
Easily the longest full motion cutscene in the game so far.
That's
Loomis, damn you!
Wait, no, 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 no! No!
Straining up the mattress again! Folding up the towels! Charlie, snake!
Why does he make dog noises?
I don't know. Because he's being hit with a paper?
It's weird.
It is very weird. And at that point I figured I'm going to be done with this one for a while.
That's about it for now.
Yep. So that's Harvester.
Freaking weird.
It gets much weirder, apparently. Like I said, there's apparently cannibalism later, and we haven't even gotten to the lodge, which I'm sure will, you know.
I wonder if that has to do with the bake sale.
My God, I do want to see how far this bake sale thing goes. Like, is the end like the bake sale? I must know. So I'm definitely going to play through this on my own time. What did you think?
Fucking weird.
Is it something you would wish to explore in this setting?
Sure.
I mean, you're not doing any work, really. You just sit here and watch weirdness unfold in front of you.
Yes.
Alright. So let us know what you thought. That was Harvester. Available on Steam if you're so inclined. Probably be playing through it more. Definitely be playing through it more. It's a fucking weird game.
Yeah.